The truth is that kitchen knives are perhaps 25% of the knives used in most of the terrible crimes. That's one of the stats in the films. And those kitchen knives are usually a domestic situation. Okay. So kitchen knives, of course, it's very difficult. They're a domestic knife. I do think there is areas of innovation that we can do with kitchen knives. I hate to say it, not all kitchen knives need to have a point on them. That sounds like a crazy thing to say, but actually it would reduce. You can still cut your food without the point on the knife, which
I have to say, regarding safetyism, I'm starting to believe that it's a mental retardation when you see a person asking, but do we actually need X or do we actually need Y? The concept that a society should function at the bare minimum with like no quality improvements whatsoever is why I'm calling this absolute lunacy. Like for instance, my toilet paper, the one that I bought, is premium and smells nice. But like, does it need to smell nice? Like, do you need toilet paper that smells nice? No? Well, we need to get rid of it. We need to have the government crack down on it. My condom that I bought smells like cherry, but like, does it need to smell like cherry? Is there a need? Oh no, we need to crack down on it. The anime that I watch has fan service, but does it need to have fan service? Do we need it? No? Well, the government needs to crack down on it. But like, does the government actually have to be as involved in people's lives to the point where they are fascinated in cutlery? It's so ridiculous, isn't it? Okay, and this conversation is for people that can't think for themselves. It's literally for people that are taken away by groupthink and have the inability to critically think whatsoever. Like it's not for the modern man, it's for the imbecile. Any person with the brain would say, all right, fine, you took away the guns, right? Britain has banned guns from a nation that required every single peasant to train with a bow. You now created a nation that is not allowed to have guns even in self-defense. Okay, what did people do? They started stabbing each other, right? So like, that didn't solve the problem. It's just like, okay, well, people went like, okay, we can't use guns, we're going to use another tool. And now the solution is to chip away the pointy aspect of the gun. And now the solution is, instead of looking at why there are knife stabbings now in 2025 and why there was less crime in 1990s, and see what legislation may have led to that, see what politicians you can hold accountable, demand an audit, figure it out. No, instead you're going to blame the cutlery, and you're going to say, well, if the cutlery wasn't pointy, then people would stop stabbing at themselves. And, like, that's correct. Yes, like, they would stop stabbing. If they can't find something to stab, they would not use it. But, like, what's to prevent them from getting a hammer? And then instead of stabbing, they start smashing. And you end up with the exact same issue, which is people dying. But I have to say, it's so disgusting, isn't it? It's so vile. It's so disturbing when someone goes like, but does it need? Does it need? And if you can't justify like why it needs it, then it needs to be taken away. And again, like the idea of the government being involved in every single aspect of human life. And the counter argument to that, it's like, oh, V, so you want to live in a lawless society. You want to live in a society of the individual, of the atom, the atomized individual that can do whatever he wants. No rules, no nothing. It's like, no, but shouldn't there be like something in between that and the government caring about the pointy knives? Like, let me reframe the question. Is there anything where the government shouldn't be involved in? Is there any human activity that can happen where the government shouldn't have a say in it? And for instance, I believe that what people do in their private house should be severely limited to the government. Like, the government shouldn't have access into someone's home unless you have like very strict exceptions. The government shouldn't have access to read someone's email. The government shouldn't have access to bug someone's phone. Like, those used to be a thing when I grew up. Again, it wasn't like an absolute interdiction. There were some exceptions, but they were very small. Nowadays, the mindset is no, the government gets to create problems, which, again, are obviously created by the government because these problems didn't exist in the 90s. And then it's also the government that in order to come up with solutions for these problems, they come up with the most nonsensical shit that is invasive, that removes people's private liberties, that don't fix the problem. And then you got stooges like this guy parroting it. This is not his opinion, by the way. I seen it in the newspapers, like the government was actually trying to push for the idea to remove the pointy aspect of the knife. I don't know if it passed or not. I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but like, all of a sudden, all these influencers, all these talking heads, they agree with the government like it's the smartest and most intelligent thing on the planet. And it's fascinating because like you have other nations around Britain, right? Like you got France, you got Spain. They don't have a problem with the knives, right? Like they're not going after the cutlery. And even in Britain, like you probably have small towns and you probably have villages where they don't have problems with the cutlery. Fascinating, isn't it? And instead of like trying to figure out the mystery, why is there no problem in the villages but there's a huge problem in London? They're trying to figure out, okay, how can we take the knives away? As if they're... And the fact that leftists are pretending that this would solve anything, because I'm willing to bet if I find a 9-year-old from Romania and I say, okay, so there's this place where people stab each other all the time. If we remove the stabbing instruments, would that solve it? And I'm pretty sure that the 9-year-old would say no, like they would pick up rocks and stuff. Duh. Anyway, let's listen to the rest of this.
Is an innovative way to sort of look at it. And in a country in crisis, I'm sorry, but yeah, let's look at that. But the truth is all knives, you know, the loophole on the heritage knives allows the sale of zombie ninja swords to be sold.
The zombie ninja sword is now the problem, right? So in order for the government to fix the problem that it created, it has to go after your zombie ninja sword.
So while, you know, you've got your granddad's sword on there and you want that, that's fine, of course, but it is leaving a loophole for someone to carry a ninja sword.
Imagine you live in a neighborhood, right? Imagine you bought a house in a nice-looking neighborhood, everything is good, and you also bring your zombie ninja sword collection that you have from your grandpa. And then the homeowner association, you know, does some things, you know, changes certain things. You get like a lot of neighbors coming in that don't act very civilized and they're fighting each other. And now the homeowner association wants to come into your house to take away your sword. How the fuck does that make sense? Like, how is it even moral? Like, you never used your sword, right? Like, it's in your house, but no, you're not allowed, because, like, the neighbors are spurging out, and it's somehow your responsibility to give away your sword. Honestly, safetyism is the cancer of 2025. I think it's actually worse than environmentalism. I think that it's worse than woke ideology. I think safetyism, if people got rid of it, a lot of other problems would fix by themselves. Safetyism is the way that the government is controlling the masses for having actual conversations and having actual accountability for the politicians, and more important, from having the masses to talk with each other in order to fix these problems while bypassing chuckleheads like this, which are saying the most nonsensical things that an adult shouldn't say. I am willing to put money on the table and have a bet that if I was to meet Ildris Elba in private and have a conversation with him about this, he wouldn't say these talking points. It's funny how the government comes up with the talking points and then actors just parrot it. As a cynical Eastern European person, I suspect that there is some money involved, some sponsorships, if you will. There is no way. I refuse to believe that an adult in 2025 can believe that if you take away the pointy, the sharp, pointy things of the knives, then you will fix the problem. Again, sure, you'll get less stabbings. Everyone agrees with that, right? But this is just playing language games and semantics. Because at the end of the day, the problem isn't the stabbings, it's people killing each other. So yeah, you'll get less stabbings, and then they would take hammers, they would take nunchucks, they would take... Like, you're not fixing the actual issue, which is why people are doing it. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.